Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Alice and I'll be your host. Please note that we cannot hear you as you are on mute. If you have any questions during the presentation, please use the chat window. This presentation will last about 30 minutes. Once it is completed, we will address any questions during our open Q&A session. I would like to introduce today's speaker. We are glad to announce that Adam Chadderdon, our Partner Account Manager, will be joining us, as well as Olivier Reynaud, Microsoft Exchange Specialist from GSX Solutions. Okay, let's begin with Adam. Adam?
Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Obviously you can't respond because you're on mute right now. I'd like to start first off by just giving a quick overview and introduction to what we're doing as far as GSX Monitor version 10.7 and how we're monitoring cloud and hybrid environments and also on-premise for Microsoft Exchange today. So first off, just a quick look at what we'll talk about. We'll talk about who GSX is, what we're doing, also our monitoring and how we can do that in the cloud and a hybrid environment especially, what our value prop is. We'll then hand it over to Olivier, who will give a demo of GSX Monitor and Analyzer, and then we'll finish up with a Q&A session where we can interact with you guys to answer any of the questions that may have come up during the demo. So GSX, we've been around since 1996. We have our headquarters over in Geneva, Switzerland. We have all of our R&D in Nice, France, and the south of France. We have some regional offices in the UK. We have 2 offices in the USA, one in Buffalo, New York, one in Boston, Massachusetts. And we also have an office in Shanghai, China, supporting the APAC market. We have over 600 customers worldwide. We're definitely a leader on monitoring Microsoft Exchange, SharePoint, IBM Domino, the whole collaboration suite for IBM, BlackBerry monitoring, and then of course the second piece of our tool, which you'll see today, is GSX Analyzer, which is a fantastic reporting solution for you as well. As also just to mention, we also have strategic partnerships with Microsoft, IBM, and BlackBerry. So as I just said, we're partnered with Microsoft, BlackBerry, and IBM. We were a finalist for the Best of Tech Ed in 2012 for our SharePoint monitoring tool, and then in 2013 for our Exchange monitoring tool, we won the Gold Award on msexchange.org if anybody subscribes to that blog. To give you a view of some of the customers and people that we work with, there's several large hosting companies and MSPs that utilize GSX. You can see there's a lot of large banks, retailers, so in the US and around the world, a company like HSBC. There's also large companies like Johnson Controls. One thing to note is our tool is definitely scalable from some of the largest banks in the world all the way down to a small hedge fund that maybe has 50 users. It's more about where mail or SharePoint is critical, and you need to make sure that that's always up and running. So a couple things to address before we jump into the demo. There's definitely some myths associated with migrating to the cloud, especially around monitoring, that I want to talk about first. So these are certainly not all of them, but it's some of the most important ones out there. So the first myth, I don't need to monitor my environment as my cloud provider is promising perfect service. Yes, this is common. Of course, they're gonna present you with SLAs based on uptime. And certainly, a lot of them are going to follow through on exactly what they agree to. There's no question about that. But how do you know, first off, that you're receiving perfect service? It's obviously important to track what you're receiving. It's a large investment. It's a big decision to move to the cloud. And then the #1 complaint that we hear from people once they migrate and during a migration to the cloud is revolving around performance issues. So that's something that we'll address at GSX as well. The second myth is my cloud providers are using monitoring tools. Yes, of course, they absolutely are using monitoring tools for that cloud environment, but they're most likely using a network monitoring tool or a higher level monitoring tool that's not focused on the end user experience or the performance issues that may come up in a cloud environment. The third myth, I did not monitor my Exchange environment while I was on premise. Why would I need to monitor it in a hybrid or cloud environment? First off, why weren't you monitoring it before? Are you crazy? Just kidding. But on a serious note, it's just as important to monitor an on-premise and a cloud environment to make sure that your end users aren't impacted. In the day and age that we're in today, email is extremely critical. And people are always on the move, whether they're using their phones or sitting at their their laptop to collect their email, it's extremely important to make sure that there's no interruptions in that. And then the fourth myth that we have here today is I don't need to monitor because my users are telling me when something's not working correctly. That's a very dangerous approach to monitoring. It's extremely reactive, and a great scenario I would bring up is, do you really want the CEO of your company to call you up and complain that he can't receive his email? I didn't think so. So to move on, some of the ways that GSX eases the process of moving to the cloud or answers to some of these IT needs are very clear in our mind here. So first off, you have a choice. You have to choose, are you going to migrate to a full cloud environment, a hybrid, or are you going to be on just an on-premise environment? Of course, there's a lot of decisions to be made around that, and luckily with GSX Monitor and Analyzer, we report on all of these different environments, whether it's cloud, hybrid, or on-premise seamlessly, and it's a very intuitive tool to be able to do that. Simplicity, how can I easily manage all of these choices? So whether you go with a hybrid or on-premise, or you maybe move to full cloud with the idea of possibly migrating back to a hybrid environment, certainly with a tool like GSX, it's very simple, it's easy, it's not going to require extensive training to understand our tool. We understand that when you're in a migration, you already have enough to learn, and there's a lot of stuff up there that you have to keep on top of your head. So we make the monitoring piece easy, and we take care of that for you 24/7. The third choice here is revolving around continuity. So how can I ensure that the business line satisfaction is there no matter what choice you make? Of course, your end users, what they're doing in the environment, how they're using the mail, and making sure that they're not impacted is extremely important. The answer to this question is pretty simple. It's proactive monitoring of the performance of the end users in that environment. So that's exactly what GSX does. We mimic an end user within the environment to make sure that nobody is impacted, and we're proactively monitoring to maybe find these smaller issues that can turn into bigger issues down the road. And then the fourth one here is cost. So we all know migrations are expensive. So how can I decrease management costs and justify the infrastructure needs that you have? Of course, GSX is going to ensure ROI with proactive monitoring, so that's one way right there. There's no hidden costs with our tool. It's very easy to learn and deploy in any environment, so we take care of that for you with a plug-and-play agentless model. Okay, so why monitoring in the cloud or in a hybrid cloud is extremely important. First off, it's critical to ensure that your end users in the cloud are receiving the same exact level of performance as your on-premise users. You never want to put somebody in a situation where the cloud users are experiencing issues or the on-premise ones are versus the opposite. So we help identify if either environment is underperforming. Of course, you want to maximize the ROI of the Exchange infrastructure, so you can lower the TCO of the hybrid environment and optimize the environment by tracking the exact consumption of resources within GSX Analyzer. It helps match the supplies and demands that you have within the environment, and Olivier will show you that a bit more when we show you GSX Analyzer. And the third major thing I want to bring up here is that you can identify performance issues proactively. So I've spoke about this already. Performance issues are the most common thing that you see within cloud environments, and most providers are really focused on uptime and not as much as on the performance. So that's something that GSX can help you identify and also monitor in that scenario. A couple things to just wrap up here on GSX Monitor and Analyzer. So why we're the best to monitor a hybrid or cloud environment and on-premise, of course, it's firstly, we give you control and visibility of the cloud environment. So if an issue comes up from your end users, let's be honest here, they're not going to be calling Microsoft or their cloud provider directly saying that they're having issues. They'll be calling you. So the responsibility is still on you at this point. GSX is going to give you that visibility on the issues before those end users are impacted, or if it does happen at the same time, it gives you a place to pinpoint the issues and know where the problem is coming from. Just like I said, the responsibility is still on the IT department. So just because they're in the cloud doesn't mean you're free and there's no responsibility on you. It's still going to be put on the IT department from the end user's perspective to make sure that everything's up and running correctly. And of course, you want to guarantee that they're not having interrupted access to their email or having performance issues. This is an interesting one. Of course, any monitoring tool wants to give you notifications when there's issues. I've heard several different people tell me that they rely on the Office 365 status tweets, and I follow it myself, so I see them coming out to notify you of any issues that do come up, and I know people put alarms on different things with these tweets, so it's an interesting way to monitor, but it's a bit reactive, of course, and in my opinion, it's unreliable to just do this through a Twitter account. Of course, our tool is giving you that proactive alerting. You can customize all the alerting that we do within GSX Monitor and Analyzer so that you're not getting inundated with, little issues that maybe don't affect you. You have that flexibility within the alerting to do that. Performance monitoring, like I've already said too, is what's really matter. It's very popular nowadays. A lot of people are moving to the cloud, and what they're finding is they're running into these performance issues. It's not a matter of server outages anymore because of clustering, high availability, and promises that service providers actually promise to you. And then the last thing here is the reporting dashboard that GSX Analyzer or GSX Monitor has within it. It's called GSX Analyzer. The reports will give you visibility on the level of service that you're receiving from your MSP. It's also going to be a very important tool whenever you need to open a case or open a ticket or build a case with your service provider based off of the level of service that you're receiving in that scenario. So as I mentioned before, GSX Monitor version 10.7 is available now. It can monitor the hybrid cloud, and with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Olivier to take control of my screen here and give us a demo of GSX Monitor and Analyzer.
Thanks, Adam. Well, hi everyone. Hope you're still doing good. And as Adam said, I'm going to show you quickly a quick tour of our product. So it's a turnkey solution for monitoring and reporting, and it's decomposed in two things: the monitoring product, which is a desktop application, and the reporting tool that is web-based. So firstly, in the monitoring tool here, you can see an overview basically of an Exchange organization that is a hybrid. This view is discovered automatically. You just need to point one server and it will discover the entire organization. And also, if you have it's connected to an Exchange Online, it will be displayed as a hybrid organization. So the solution is absolutely agentless. So you have nothing to install on your servers. It's very easy to install, to maintain. It has very minimal impact on your servers. We proceed to end-to-end tests. So we try to focus on the user experience from the user point of view. So we also support Exchange 2013, as you can see here. I'll stay on this hybrid view. You can both see the on-premise and online tests, see your different servers in your infrastructure, and going to go in the configuration and go a little deeper in what we do. So connectivity is really easy, not much to specify, and we'll do the rest. So basically, for the cache flow, this is for Exchange 2010, but same concept for 2013. We check the different protocols that are used by your end users, making sure it works end to end. So connecting, accessing the mailbox, retrieving the emails, and so on. We have different alerts, many different types of alerts you can set. Important thing to notice is you can connect to SCOM very easily and manage everything from there. We have different alerts, as Adam said, on either on failure of some services or on performances. So here we can see we have alerts on the different protocols, on the average response time of the OWA, for example. For the mailbox flow, we also test NATI connectivity, look at the different mailbox database, make sure everything is okay, replication is occurring within the bag. You can have also alerts on the different sizes of the databases. For the hub role or transport service within 2013, we'll also make sure that the routing is achieved, the different queues are working properly. You can have alerts on different settings for the size of the delivered queues or unreachable queues. This will be generic settings about how frequently you want to monitor, time zones, business hours. You can look at the different processes running on the servers. This will give you some good view of how they're doing. Possible to monitor the different Windows services based on the different roles. Of course, you can monitor the disk space, different volumes that are attached to your Exchange servers. And in case you would be doing maintenance for updates or adding roles or whatsoever, you can specify schedule or unscheduled maintenance. So this will, if the server is down, it will obviously not be counted for the overall availability of your service. So then we have scenarios that you can perform. This is applicable for on-premise or online. So first, the mail routing. So this is really testing the routing of emails from one point to another. This can be internally, or you can interact with external domains. And also you can, of course, if you're in a hybrid situation, test from on-premise to online and online to on-premise. So this will give you not only that the mail was delivered, but it will ensure that your SLAs are respected. So if you want that emails in between are not taking longer to route than 5 minutes, if so, you'll be alerted. And then we have different types of scenarios you can configure, and these are really whatever you think a user could be doing in his Outlook or Outlook Web Access. So first thing is to open the mailbox, then you can create folder, create tasks. You can also create and send an email, open a new meeting and invite other participants, download an attachment, search, like any user would be doing to search for specific emails. And the powerful thing around that is you can personalize your own custom scenarios, meaning that you can have different steps in any order that you'd like and see how these scenarios perform in time and in the future. And also here, the good thing with this really summarized view you have here of your whole entire organization on-premise and online is you can see where is the issue. Is the issue on-premise? Is the issue online? What is the issue? And then start fixing any issues that could be here, or see that the performance is not where it used to be when you had half of the users you had last year. And basically, this is one view of our monitoring tool, and all the data that we gather here is then sent every day to our reporting tool. So I'm now going to go the reporting tool. So this is Analyzer, the reporting tool. It's all web-based. You can access from everywhere. Here is the first tab. So it's an overview, basically, of the different statistics, key statistics that are visually displayed that you can fully customize. So this can be customized for different profiles. So an admin could see some of the tabs concerning on-premise. Another in the administration team could see only the online scenarios, for example. So basically anything is possible. And then I can go in the statistics view. Here you can see basically all the raw statistics that are sent from Monitor for the different days by different platforms. So I'm just going to focus on Exchange, but you can see the scenarios, databases, DAGs, case arrays, or just your Exchange servers. Powerful view also of analyzers, the trend reports, is really one I like a lot. You can easily configure trend reports, meaning that, for example, I want to look at my different Exchange scenarios. So, okay, You can see the evolution of the percentage of availability and a forecast in the future. This goes for any statistics you'd like. You just have to drag and drop statistics. And here you go. You can see all your different statistics, compare them together. And these reports, they're not only here, but you can receive them in your mailbox, upload them on FTP servers, on any network folder. So it's really a powerful trending and forecasting here of consolidated results that are gathered from Monitor and then analyzed here. Then the environmental health reports. This really ensures quality of service. So here you can compare the different key performance indicators and SLAs. So for example, here's a view of Exchange servers. I want to look at all my different Exchange servers. My SLA is 99.99, and I want to look at the servers that are not performing as good. And you will visually see this instantly. It's also good to see inequity in balancing the load between servers, or for online, you can see the different scenarios and which one are not performing as well. So I hope you enjoyed this short but substantial demo. Feel free to contact us if you'd like a more in-depth and focused demo. I try to go quickly here to show you at a glance basically what we do.
Thanks, Olivier. Appreciate it. So as Olivier said, of course, if you guys want a more in-depth demo that we can kind of sit down and customize to your environment, whether that's a hybrid deployment or an on-premise or cloud, we can take a deeper look into what GSX does and certainly customize that demo for you. You can request that on our website or send an email to sales@gsx.com. There is a free 30-day trial version of GSX on our website as well. It's a fully functioning version of GSX Monitor and Analyzer. You can add up to 10 servers per platform, and it's an unlimited number of users, so certainly take advantage of that as well. To wrap up here before we go to the Q&A, I have the contact page here of all three of our major continent offices. So we have our salespeople. So yes, again, sales@gsx.com will get you the demo you need wherever you are in the world. And if you want to follow us on social media to get updates from GSX Monitor and Analyzer, you certainly can do that right from here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and open this up to the Q&A session. So I think, Alice, you will lead that from here.
Exactly. Thank you, Adam and Olivier, for the presentation. So now it's time for our Q&A session. We have received quite a few interesting questions. Let's get started with the first one. So, how does your alerting system plug in SCOM?
Sure. So it's pretty simple. We have the option for basically sending SNMP traps from GSX Monitor right into SCOM. So a lot of our customers utilize this so that they can centralize all of their alerting into one platform, so they're not necessarily managing two separate platforms in that scenario. So certainly via our SNMP traps, you can do that.
Okay, question number 2, on average, how long does it take to install GSX Monitor?
Okay, on average, I'd say it, of course, depends on the size of your environment. I would guess on all the installations I've seen, they've taken around an hour to fully get GSX Monitor and Analyzer up and running. From there, it's more about tweaking the settings, the alerting, and then, of course, creating customized reports from there. So it is a pretty simple process. Again, it's agentless, so there's no code going on the server, so it's very easy to upgrade and manage once it's installed.
Thanks, Adam. Okay, the third question. How is GSX Analyzer licensed?
So the licensing is actually included in the GSX Monitor licensing. They rely on each other. So all of the statistics from GSX Monitor are taken and pushed into GSX Analyzer, so it's included of the licensing.
So when you check the scenarios, is there any impact on server?
So I may ask Olivier for help here, but
yeah, sure.
Well, basically, from what I understand, the impact is minimal. The scenario tests are basically using web services to check different features. Yes, they're powerful tests, so you maybe don't want to run a scenario every single minute and run 10, 15 of them at the same time. But certainly, it's not a test that's going to bog down your servers or crash your server or anything like that. We're basically like an extra user that's going out and performing all these different tests on the actual server. So I don't know if you want to add to that at all, Olivia.
Well, that's exactly what was needed to be said. You don't need my technical point anymore.
I always need the technical guy. Go ahead with the next one, Alice, if there's any more.
Sure. So our next question is it possible to monitor different servers at different locations? Adam?
Sure, yeah. So absolutely no problem. Because it's agentless, it makes it very easy for you to access all your SharePoint servers wherever they're located, as long as you have the proper credentials to access them. One thing to consider is if you want the actual latency. So let's say you have users that are in Buffalo, New York, and your servers are located in San Diego. Of course, the latency is going to be a bit different from the users that are sitting right next to the servers than the ones that are across the country. So you can deploy multiple installations of GSX in each data center or office that you're monitoring to mimic the real user experience from each individual location. Anything else?
Yep. So here's another question. What needs to be enabled for Exchange Online in order for the scenarios to be executed?
Olivier, I need you on this one.
Thanks, Adam. So, no, nothing specific is required on the Exchange Online environment, because basically we act as a user. So all we need is going to be a mailbox that's created on the Exchange Online environment and a URL to access the service. So typically it's going to be the one that the end users use in the browser, for example. So connect to outlook.office365.com. And basically that's it. You're good to go and configure some scenarios.
Okay, so can GSX Monitor and Analyzer be installed on Windows Azure?
Yes, it's a fully working scenario. However, there might be some extra configuration that needs to be done. From what I understand, for on-premise organizations, such as if they're going from, and Olivier, correct me if I'm wrong, a cross-premises virtual network or an NAT, then it's going to need some extra configuration in that scenario. But for cloud monitoring, it should be completely transparent. Am I correct on that, Olivier?
Yeah, it's that. It will just need to be able to connect to the environment. So not much more that should be done already if you're using Azure.
Okay, so then we follow with, can GSX Monitor and Analyzer be used as a service from the cloud, for example?
We don't provide any software as a service solutions right now for GSX Monitor and Analyzer. It needs to be basically set up and achieved on your own using Windows Azure. And if you don't want to install anything on premise for that scenario, so.
Okay, and so then does GSX have a partner or reseller program?
Yes, indeed we do. So it's a big goal here at GSX, and it's my job here at GSX to manage our partner and reseller network. So we're actively recruiting new partners currently, and certainly if you're interested, you can reach out to sales@gsx.com or schedule a meeting with me if you're located in North or South America. And then, of course, we have partner managers in the APAC region and in Europe. So please do. We have a nice partner program, and we like to work with any of the partners out there that it makes sense with.
Okay, thank you. So now we come to our last question, which is, can we distinguish network issues from other infra-performance issues? Olivier, maybe you can help us.
Yeah, this is more of an Olivier question, I think.
Well, so basically, our product doesn't focus on system. So, for example, network. We stay at the application layer, but we look at different statistics, especially from a network point of view, from client access. So we might need get some ideas based on the statistics we retrieve, and also if anything, any performance counter, any scenario fails because of that, the different error system that we put in place might help you troubleshoot what area it is. But just to answer you quickly, we don't focus on this specific stat.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your presentation, Adam and Olivier. I'd like to thank as well everyone who attended this webinar today. There's an evaluation who is about to show up on your browser, so if you could please take a moment to provide us with your feedback, that would be very kind. Thanks again, and have a good day. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.